everybody. I am Mr. Buzz. I am a firefighter EMT with the West Alexander Volunteer Fire Department. And today we're going to talk about fire safety, fire prevention, the home fire plans, the what ifs, and a little bit about fire extinguishment. Matches, lighters, fireworks, candles are all things that we don't want you to play with. These are tools for adults. And if you happen to come across and see any of these things laying around, tell an adult so that they can make sure that they get these picked up and put away so that nobody gets hurt. Because as you can see, that's a real fire, and it is hot enough that it'll melt this candle, and candle wax can drip off and burn your skin. And we don't want that to happen. So we want to make sure that lighters, matches, candles are all put up and where an adult can have them. Fireworks. Everybody loves fireworks. But we want to make sure that when you're using fireworks that there is an adult watching you, because you can get burnt and you can burn something up if these are used improperly. So always make sure that you have adult supervision when working with these. And whatever you do after you light it, don't go pick them back up. It may not be done burning yet, and it could cause a serious burn on you. We also have to worry about stoves and cooking equipment, boiling water and greases. So when we're cooking on our stovetop, we want to make sure that our handles are always facing in so that little Lukey can't reach over and pour a pot of boiling water or grease on him. Because the boiling water can scald you, burn you bad, and it will hurt. And the grease, you could burn it down and it could catch fire. So the place that you're living could burn down. We also want to make sure that our electrical outlets are in good shape. We do not want to put too many items in one circuit, especially with surge protectors. If you have two surge protectors and you have one plugged into the other, you're overloading it. It can't work correctly, and it could very easily catch fire and burn the place that you're living down. So if you see that, let an adult know that that's very dangerous. And you also want to make sure that everything works fine on it. Make sure that your switches work. Make sure that your cable's in good shape, and make sure that it has all of its prongs and that they're not bent or look burnt. And the same with your extension cords. Make sure that they're all good, and make sure that there's no chew marks or cuts into the cable itself, which could cause a serious problem. And you always point those out to the adults so that they can see that and get that situation taken care of. So we can fix any problems that we have. For our fire prevention, that goes along with making sure all of our cords and surge protectors are good. And we also want to make sure that our house is kept clean. Now your mommy and daddy and the adults that live with you are always saying, clean your room, little Lukey. Make sure it's clean. There's a reason for that. The stuff that's laying on the floor can be a tripping hazard if you have to leave in a hurry. It could be a fire hazard, too much stuff in one place. If you got all your clothes on the floor, it makes it very hard for you to run out of the house if you have to. Your attics, your basements, your entryways, the doorways, windows, you always want to make sure that they're clean and easy to get to and get out of if you have to. And knowing your right from your wrongs. We don't want to play with fireworks inside a building. We want to make sure that we know that we tell the adults when we find matches or lighters. And we want to make sure the adults get them. And we also want to know how to call 911. If something does happen and you need a fire truck to show up, they can't just magically guess. You got to call 911. So make sure you learn your address or have it written down on a piece of paper next to a phone. Make sure that the adult has that information for you. And if at all possible, we want to make sure the adult makes the 911 call. Because we don't want to call 911 unless there is an emergency. If you need a policeman, or if you need an ambulance or a fireman, that's when you call 911. We don't want to call 911 because we need help with our algebra, or we need someone to talk to because we're bored. We want to make sure that we have that. We call in for emergencies only. Because if you call in because you're bored and you want to have a conversation with somebody, you could be taking away from somebody that's calling 911 that really needs them. Smoke detectors. They're a great tool. And we have different variations that you can purchase. You can get smoke only. You can get smoke and carbon monoxide, which is what this one is. You can also get smoke and ion fire extinguishers or fire detectors. But what you need in your house is more than likely a smoke and carbon monoxide detector. And we want to make sure that we test these batteries and make sure they're good and that we know what they sound like. That's a beep letting us know that it's tested and working.
Fire. Warning, carbon monoxide.
Now this is just one example. They don't all sound the same. They don't all make different sounds. But if you pay attention to this one, there's a red light that flashes and it has two warnings. One for fire and one for carbon monoxide. So make sure that you know the difference between the two. And
Fire.
and carbon monoxide.
Carbon monoxide.
So this isn't a timer for cooking. This is to warn you that there is smoke or carbon monoxide in the house that you need to take and you need to evacuate the house. So get out quick. But in order to get out quick, you have to know how to get out. You have to have an escape plan. And this is just one example of one. I drew it out really big for us to use and look at. We have 3 bedrooms, a hallway, a bathroom, an entryway, a living room, and a kitchen. And this sets us up for a good example of knowing 2 ways out or 3 ways. The more ways we know, the safer we will be. And we have a window and a door that we can go out of. We also want to remember, never hide in a closet, bath, especially never hide in a bathtub. It all looks fun in the movies, but it's not really that way. But if you can draw your sketch out and you got your arrows leading the way out if you need them. Now we have outside. Once we get outside, we need to make sure we all meet somewhere. And what we want to do is we want to make sure that we meet at one place so that everybody can be together and the adult can actually make sure everyone is there. So that if someone's missing, we can let the fire department know when they get there where somebody is at in that house. Now once you're out, stay out. Do not go back in for any reason. There is never a reason good enough to go back in that house. Your treasures, your pictures, your pets will be safer and they will find their way out. They know how to get out. And the thing I want you to remember is when you leave a room through a doorway, when you go out that door, close it behind you. Now when we go outdoors, we want to check and we want to make sure that we know how to do it and what to do with it. We want to check for smoke, heat on the doors before we use them. Okay? So when we come up to a door, now we have one here, we want to look at it. We want to make sure that there's no smoke coming around the door anywhere. So that's one good sign that we might have a safe way to get out. Second thing we want to do is we don't want to just grab the door handle and open it up. We want to check the door and we want to feel it with the back of our hands. Not with the front, but with the back. So we check our door, make sure it's not hot, and we check our doorknob. If the doorknob is hot and the door is hot, then we know that we're going to need to go to one of our windows. But we open this door to go out, if it's safe to do so. When we go out, we want to make sure that we get low. We stay low so that the smoke stays above us. So if we need to crawl down the hallway and out the door, that's what we're going to do. And adults, if you need to, you can call your local fire department and they will be glad to help you with designing and drawing up your fire escape plan. Once you have it drawn up, make sure you practice it. You test your smoke detectors so that everybody is safe. Now, what if we catch fire? We're trying to get out and an ember gets on our clothes and we catch on fire. We want to stop running. Don't panic. Stop. Drop down to the ground, cover your face, and roll. That will put the fire out. If you run, it makes the fire grow faster and bigger. Now for the fire extinguishment. 911 is the first thing we should do. So we call 911 and we get the fire trucks started. We get them coming. Make sure you give them the right address and what is happening. And we have fire extinguishers that adults should use if you have them in the house. With those you want to make sure that they're operational and that they work. So when you're practicing your fire drill once a month, check your fire extinguishers along with your smoke detectors. And adults, when you're using the fire extinguisher, always make sure to stay 6 to 8 feet away from the fire. Pull the pin. Aim the nozzle to where you want it at the base of the fire. Squeeze the handle and sweep the nozzle side to side. It's called pass. Pull, aim, squeeze, sweep. Now the fire trucks and the firefighters, always remember your firefighters are your friends. Now the fire trucks, we've done our escape plan. So we want to make sure that the kids all know where to meet so that when the fire trucks are coming, you don't run out in front of them. You stay where you're supposed to be. We want to make sure that they can pull in and do their job right. And remember, firefighters are your friends. Now in West Alexander, at Station 39, we have some house rules. Do not hide. Firefighters are your friends. Stay low, under smoke. No two ways out. Field doors for heat. And if you catch fire, stop, drop, roll, and cover your face. And if anytime you have any questions about the fire service, or you want to visit your local fire station, if you call them, they would be more than willing to go in and help you with fire extinguishers, smoke detectors, and your fire escape plan. And be sure to hit a comment on there, and if you have any questions, please make sure you put them on, and I will get them answered or get somebody that can answer them for you. I hope this helps you, and I hope that everybody is having a safe day and a safe summer. And hopefully next year we can come out and actually get to see you and hug you. So everybody stay safe, have a blessed summer, and remember, firefighters are your friends. Thank you very much.